There's a moment in every seeker's life when the searching becomes heavier than the thing they're trying to find. Maybe you felt it too, that quiet exhaustion from always scanning for signs, answers, proof that you're on the right path. It's like standing in a crowded forest at night, flashlight in hand, sweeping the shadows for something that never quite shows itself. Years ago, there was a night I remember clearly. I was sitting alone in my tiny apartment, laptop open, dozens of tabs filled with books, videos, voices telling me how to find clarity, how to attract answers. The more I read, the more restless I felt. So I closed it all down, turned off the lamp, and just sat there, no noise, no search. In the corner of my eye, I noticed the window cracked open. A soft breeze drifted in, carrying the smell of rain. And for a moment, nothing moved, not the traffic outside, not my racing thoughts, just the sound of distant thunder and my own quiet breath. In that stillness, it felt as if something gentle and patient had been waiting there all along, just outside my busy mind. Maybe you know this moment too, not this exact night, but your own version of it. A quiet evening when you feel the weight of every question you've carried for years, when the noise of advice and predictions finally runs out of things to say, and all that's left is your own heartbeat, reminding you there's something deeper than searching. And in that pause, the peace I'd been searching for felt closer than ever, as if it had been there all along, waiting for me to be still enough to feel it. I couldn't help but wonder, maybe what I'd spent so long chasing had never really been lost. Maybe it was the chasing itself that kept it so far away. What if these moments, the ones we overlook so easily, are tiny windows into something bigger? Since that night, I began to sense something I could never quite put into words before, that there is a silent architecture holding everything together, even the parts that feel random. It's like there's an unseen framework beneath the surface of what we call reality. A hidden design so intricate that most of us move through life without ever noticing it. Some people call it intuition, some call it fate, but modern physics has another name for it, the quantum field. Behind everything you can touch, taste, measure, there's a vast ocean of energy and information, a living matrix that doesn't just surround you, but responds to you. Scientists have found that at the subatomic level, particles don't have a fixed position until they're observed. They exist in a cloud of possibilities, waiting to become something specific when you interact with them. This is called the observer effect. The idea that reality is not simply happening to you, it's reacting to your awareness, your thoughts, your feelings. You don't have to be a physicist to feel this. You feel it in the small moments you can't explain, like when you think of someone seconds before they call, or when you hear a line in a song that answers a question you were too afraid to ask out loud. You feel it when a door opens just when you thought you'd run out of options, or when the right words find you at the exact moment you needed them most. We're taught to call these things coincidences, little accidents we shouldn't think too much about. But what if they're not accidents at all? What if they're tiny glimpses of that invisible architecture, proof that the quantum field is alive, intelligent, and listening? Sometimes you only see the threads when you look back. You remember the job you didn't get that forced you onto a new path, the random meeting that turned into a lifelong friendship, the delay that felt unfair until you realized it saved you from something that wasn't yours to carry. In hindsight, you notice how what felt like an accident was actually alignment wearing a quiet disguise. The more I paid attention, the more I saw that these moments don't happen when I'm forcing them to. They appear when I'm still enough to notice, when I soften my grip on how life should unfold. and trust that this hidden pattern is already at work, shaping every detail in ways I can't always see. But if this hidden pattern is real, why do so many of us feel stuck, restless, always chasing, always, for most of my life? I thought I could outplan uncertainty, like so many of us. I believed that if I just held on tight enough, if I mapped out every detail, predicted every outcome, stayed alert for every sign, I could stay one step ahead of disappointment. But the harder I tried to control what came next, the heavier everything felt. Control turned out to be a quiet form of fear, a hidden belief that life might betray me if I loosened my grip. What I didn't realize then is that the very act of trying to force reality into shape was sending its own signal into the field. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you wish for with clenched fists. It responds to the vibration you broadcast moment by moment. When your mind races with worry, your heart tenses with urgency, your energy scatters into doubt, the field doesn't punish you, but it reflects you. And what it reflects is more static, more noise, more friction. I think about all the times in my life when I tried to push things into place, the opportunities I chased so hard they slipped through my fingers, the signs I demanded but never saw. And then I remember the moments when I gave up, not out of defeat, but out of sheer exhaustion. And how, strangely, that's when the door opened. That's when the phone rang. That's when the answer found me before I knew how to ask. This is the paradox that most of us miss the tighter we cling to control, the more we choke the flow of what we're hoping to find. The quantum field, this living matrix of possibilities, doesn't organize reality through force. It responds to resonance. When your thoughts, emotions, and energy are scattered by fear, your signal to the field becomes noisy and incoherent. The HeartMath Institute has shown that states like fear or frustration create chaotic patterns in your heart's electromagnetic field, and that chaos disrupts the clear signal your body sends out. But when you shift into trust, gratitude, or calm, your heart enters coherence, a measurable, ordered rhythm that radiates outward, influencing not just your health, but the field around you. It's like tuning a radio. When your inner frequency is full of static, you can't hear the song that's playing all around you. But when you soften, slow down, and align your mind and heart, the noise clears, the signal sharpens, and the quantum field, always listening, mirrors that clarity back as perfectly timed moments, connections, and signs. So the real work is not to wrestle life into the shape you want. The work is to tend to your own coherence, to keep your signal clear. Not by force, but by remembering that life moves differently when you do. It moves when you soften your grip and allow it to meet you halfway. I've seen it in my own life, and maybe you've seen it too when we're clinging the tightest. We're the most blind. We miss gentle cues. We ignore sudden nudges. We push away the very help we once begged for. Sometimes control is just fear pretending to protect us. But what it really does is shut the door on the unexpected ways life tries to reach us. And this is where the science of synchronicity opens a door to show us we're not just stuck in chaos, but shaping it too. So how does this really work? How can something as invisible as a field of energy shape what shows up in your life? In the world of quantum physics, reality isn't solid and static the way we once thought. At the tiniest level, the subatomic level, everything exists as a wave function. First, a cloud of possibilities. A particle doesn't become a particle, something definite, until it's measured or observed. This is known as the observer effect. What does that mean for you? It means you're not just a passive spectator of your life, you are an active participant. Every thought you think, every feeling you sustain, acts like a subtle measurement. It nudges the wave of possibilities toward a single outcome. But it goes deeper than just a thought. The quantum field doesn't simply respond to isolated wishes. It responds to the coherence of your entire state of being. Think of coherence as a steady, clear signal, a vibration that's not fragmented by doubt or contradiction. Modern research, like the work done by the HeartMath Institute, shows that your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body. When you feel genuine gratitude, care, or trust, this field shifts into an orderly, harmonious pattern, what scientists call cardiac coherence. This state doesn't just improve your health or calm your mind. It acts like a beacon, strengthening the frequency you send out into the quantum field. So imagine this: your mind is like the tuning dial of a radio, and your heart is the transmitter. If your mind is scattered worrying about the future, replaying the past, your signal is static. The field receives mixed messages, so it mirrors confusion and delay. But when your mind, heart, and body line up in coherence, your signal sharpens like tuning a radio to a clear station. And that's when synchronicity starts to flow. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped jamming the signal. This is why people notice synchronicity in unexpected moments when they're walking in nature, resting after a long day, or drifting off to sleep. In these liminal spaces, your brain relaxes its grip, your heart softens, and the field has room to respond. When you see repeating numbers, hear the same phrase from different strangers, or find the right book at the right time, you're not witnessing random chance. You're witnessing a subtle confirmation that reality is not fixed, it's interactive. A dance between your inner state and a field that is alive, intelligent, and always listening. Some call it luck, some call it grace. Science calls it non-local connection, the truth that at the deepest level, everything is entangled beyond distance or time. It's why a mother senses her child's pain miles away, or two friends think the same thought at the same moment. The quantum field holds this web together, more responsive to your quiet state than any plan you can force with your mind alone. So the question is never whether the field is paying attention. The real question is, are you clear enough, coherent enough to receive what it's trying to send you? Knowing this only matters if we can live it. And that begins with learning how to let go. Letting go works because it does something effort alone. Can't it give life enough room to meet you halfway? You've probably seen this paradox in everyday life. Think of the moments when you were desperate to remember a name you pushed your brain, but nothing came. Then hours later, when you gave up and started washing the dishes or brushing your teeth, the answer just popped in. Or think of someone searching endlessly for love, never finding it until they stop hunting so hard and suddenly meet the right person at a coffee shop or through a casual introduction. It's not magic. It's simply the way your mind works when tension and attention pull against each other. When you hold on too tightly, replaying thoughts, forcing answers, you send out a signal of lack, of urgency. And that signal doesn't open doors, it often closes them. It builds walls instead of bridges, because neediness narrows your perspective and blocks what wants to flow in naturally. But the moment you ease your grip, something shifts. Your mind relaxes from a tight, narrow beam of focus into a softer, wider awareness. This is when you stop trying to chase the answer and become open enough for the answer to come find you instead. Psychologists call this open state the default mode network, the parts of your brain that light up when you're not forcing your thoughts in one direction. It's the network that becomes active when you're daydreaming, walking in the park, or letting your mind drift in the shower. In this quiet, unfocused space, your brain makes connections you can't force when you're pushing too hard. That's why your best ideas often appear not at your desk, but when you're doing something simple and your mind feels free to wander. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on what you want. It means lifting away the tension that keeps it stuck. You're not throwing away your vision, you're choosing to hold it with open hands instead of clenched fists. When you trust like this, you're telling life, I know what I wish for, but I'm not going to strangle it with doubt or force. You stay clear about your desire, but you also leave space for life to deliver it in ways you couldn't plan on your own. And in that space, your actions feel lighter. They come from inspiration, not desperation. Your heart stays soft and curious instead of tight and guarded. And the field which is always responding has room to line up the right people, the right places, the right moments that pure effort alone could never arrange. If letting go feels hard, start small. Release one tight thought at a time. Choose not to rehearse the worst case for once. Let yourself imagine that maybe, just maybe, what's waiting for you is better than the outcome you're so busy trying to engineer. And if you forget tomorrow, that's okay. Letting go is not a single leap. It's thousands of soft steps back to trust. So if you've been searching hard, maybe pause for a moment. Step outside. Feel the sun. Let your mind wander. The signal you send in that softness might carry further than all the pushing ever could. So maybe now, for just a moment, you can loosen your grip. Take a breath and notice how it feels to not carry every answer alone. Maybe you don't need to hunt for the next sign, the next proof, the next perfect plan. Maybe all you need is to become soft enough to notice what's already moving toward you. If you've ever wondered whether life is listening, it is. The field around you never stops responding to the quiet signal you send through every choice, every thought, every heartbeat of trust. So next time you catch yourself chasing too hard, pause. Step outside. Feel the air. Watch how the wind moves through the trees without effort. Remember that letting go is not losing what you want. It's inviting it in. Every synchronicity you've ever experienced was never random. It was life's gentle way of saying, I hear you. I know you. I'm guiding you, even when you don't see how. So breathe. Soften. Stay open. What you need is already on its way, waiting for you to be still enough to let it find you. And if someday you doubt again, as we all do, come back to this space. Breathe in the reminder that nothing you truly need is ever lost. It's only waiting for you to remember that you don't have to run to meet it. You just have to stand still long enough to be found. If these words brought you even a moment of peace, I hope you carry that softness into whatever comes next. May the signs find you when you least expect them. May trust feel easier with each breath. And may you remember that what's meant for you is already on its way. If you'd like to walk this path together a little longer, feel free to subscribe, share, or leave a gentle note below so we can keep reminding each other that we're never truly alone.